So have you seen the clip of Don Lemon being so-called schooled by this so-called scholar about reparations and the African diaspora being responsible for selling the Africans into slavery? Some people are feeling very justified right now, and some people are having a light bulb moment. Okay, it's fine to have a light bulb moment. However, that doesn't leave nobody off the hook, because let's be clear, just because the Africans sold them into slavery, who was doing the enslavement? Who was doing the enslavement? That's what we need to be clear upon. The main reason why the royals are considered the royals is because of the blood that was on their hands. Think about the African girls that went missing. Come to find out, the queen was responsible for that. We need to pay attention to what's really going on. And just because Don Lemon had a, teachable moment, that doesn't leave these people off the hook. That doesn't negate the fact that there needs to be reparations from the British and from America. But when you think about America had slaves even after slavery was abolished. Even after the Emancipation Proclamation, there was still slaves. Think about Frederick Douglass. Think about his story. That's history. That's the part that we're not taught in schools. When you even think about the fact that there was so much injustice and there still is injustice. Think about the segregation. Think about the ostracization. Think about how we were ostracized for hundreds of years. So even if slavery was abolished, think about the fact that we couldn't even drink from the same water fountain. All of this stuff was going on. Think about Rosa Parks. Slavery was abolished, but think about all of the pain and suffering that generations of Blacks have went through. You think about it. If your people were enslaved for hundreds of years, I don't want to hear nothing about the Jews, the so-called Jews went through. That was a short period of time. It doesn't mean that it wasn't suffering, but my point is that think about the hundreds of years. Slavery wasn't a choice, it was by force. You really think somebody wants to be enslaved? There were laws in place. These people rose to power on the backs of slaves. Some people may say, well, you're not a slave, so why are you complaining? Black people are not slaves today, so what are you upset about? Well, it's enough for me to be passionate about it. When I think about the fact that my people come from this, and it trickles down from generation to generation. And yes, we're not slaves right now, but the very fact that because of the color of your skin, that you can be treated differently or looked down upon, it's still happening to this day. And there are still systems in place that does not benefit the Black race, that are more beneficial to non-Blacks. There's a cause and effect, and it trickles down from generation to generation. And whether we like it or not, we are still affected by it. Our souls are affected by it. Our spirits are affected by it. The fact that this is our lineage, this is our heritage, this is our bloodline, considered the minority. We are still marginalized. We are still ostracized. There's still genocide going on when you think about the criminal justice system. So of course I'm passionate about it. When you don't have a history such as this, of course you would think that, oh, why are you so upset? You're not enslaved now. It doesn't matter. This was hundreds of years of cause and effect. And so I've earned the right to be passionate about it. So the least that can be done is us get reparations for building this country practically off of the backs of our ancestors. If you're a non-Black, I love you, and you should be grateful that you don't have a history such as this. Everybody feels that they have suffered some level, because if you're in this world, there's going to be some level of suffering, but some suffers more than others, especially if your country and your world has been constructed to benefit a certain race. Otherwise, there wouldn't even be a such thing as a thing called race, because it's literally like a race. And there was a hundreds of years head start that the non-Blacks had. So when you talk about Black privilege, I'm honored to be a woman of color. However, it hasn't been a privilege, and we're just now catching up after all these hundreds of years and given some sort of rights and benefits. But it came at a time where now we're giving benefits to people who are believing in their brain that they are something that they're not, such as the LGBTQ. And the civil rights is now being overshadowed by that. So is it really a privilege? People are saying now that there's a thing called Black privilege. First of all, it's never been a privilege to be Black in America. They're just allowing us to have the same opportunities now as the whites. Is that really Black privilege? I love all races. Blacks, whites, Hispanics. In fact, my father was a Hispanic man. I'm not pro-Black because honestly, I've said it before, there's times when I can sit amongst Blacks and not feel Black enough. But then there's times I can be around whites, and the only time I feel Black is when they treat me different or make me feel like I'm inferior. See, this stuff goes on today. I'm neither Republican nor Democrat. I'm not about the left agenda. I'm about God's agenda. And what God wants is unity. But even still, I still wouldn't choose to be another race. Especially when I read the Bible and I know that the Son of God might have looked like me.